There has been a looming crisis in Kenya that there are many banks, about 24 in number, that could end up closing. And the reason is because there is a new requirement that they need to keep a reserve of 10 billion Kenya shillings, up from 1 billion. That is going to be at all under, especially for the small banks. Now, today we are going to be looking at, if this were to happen, it means that over 7,000 jobs could end up being lost. That means many people losing their jobs, especially the bankers and anyone else working in that space of the banking industry. So I am going to help the bankers and the people working in that space to just understand, if this were to happen, is this the end of the road? Is there anything else that they could do with the experience and the skills that they've gained over the years in the banking industry? I was a banker in the past, and with the experience that I had, and having also come out and been able to practice out in the industry, at least I have a thing or two that maybe can be of help to you. I hope through this video I'm going to give you some hope and also just help you see that it is not all lost. You can actually look at this as a blessing in disguise, as in this is your time to start probably what you've been thinking or what you could have thought you could have done if you were not in that industry. So to start, I am going to focus on the core parts of the bank. I'm also going to look at the supporting departments, and I'm also going to look at the specialized departments. Now, looking at these three areas, there are so many opportunities out here in the market that actually bankers can look into and make something for themselves if this were to happen, so that you don't see like losing your job is the end of it. It could actually be a start for you to get into the business world. So the first one is, I'm going to look at those who are doing cashiering. So if you are doing cashiering, it's an opportunity to what you call agency banking. Most of the banks out here have agents that are working with anyone out here in the industry. So what you do is you can go and subscribe to the various banks, and they give you their agency license for you to work on their behalf out here, including also taking the mobile agencies, that is M-Pesa and Airtel. So if you look at that as a way of starting your own business, it just requires a small cubicle where you can sit and do your transactions. In that small cubicle, you can also actually just put a few other goods and merchandise that you can sell, but at least the bare minimum is that it requires a very small space for you to be able to do that. The next one is credit. These are the people who are in charge of loan approvals, administration, portfolio management, and so they've got a lot of experience and expertise around loan approvals, what is required to be able to lend, and lend with ensuring that the monies don't get lost. So for that, if you are out here, what you can do is you can actually start an MFI, that's a microfinance institution. Well, that's the requirements for running one are much less stringent compared to the banks, and there are many people who are actually doing that kind of lending, whether peer-to-peer or even to other businesses. But the good thing is that you can be able to take care of the risk that go with lending, and you can, since you've already done that in the past, you already know what you can look for in the market. The other that you can think about is investment banking. Those who are in investment banking were probably investing on behalf of clients. So this will be very good. If you go out there, you can still be doing consultancy or advisory services for big organizations that are looking towards mergers, acquisitions. You can also look at people who are doing, or people who are looking at creating wealth and managing their wealth. So your experience and skill would be very key in helping them do that. And just to let you know, that's one area that pays very well. The opportunities may not be many, like the way we have like in agency banking. However, the cut for it is so huge, because these are big kind of tickets that would be happening for a company that would be looking at either merging or acquisitions, but they need a lot of advice around that space. So the other department that is likely also to benefit a lot from this is trade finance. Trade finance are the people who have been dealing with letters of credit, bills, guarantees and all that. So there's a lot of trend that happens there. So even while you're working in the bank, it's very important to understand the import and the export industry, what is happening, how payments are done, and even the whole business of just managing that export-import business. Now, stepping out here, you can still go into that import and export business. Think about businesses like clearing and forwarding, or even specific business that are in the import and export, whether you're importing cars or you're exporting agricultural products. You already have an idea how that industry works. You've been exposed to payment systems, which are very key because every business is looking for how can I be paid. So with the experience you have, you can start that on your own, or you can be able also to help businesses be able to understand how to deal within the import and export business, so that then they can also be able to get something for themselves. So the other one is the risk department. Those who worked in the risk department, now these are people who are already accustomed to looking at what could likely go wrong and how can we mitigate against these things that can end up affecting the businesses negatively. So stepping out here, you can continue doing that. Also in the insurance industry, you can open an agency, you can be a broker, and since insurance is about risk and risk mitigation, that's one key area that you can actually look into. The last is the treasury department. Now, I remember when we were in the bank, we used to say these are people who hold business, and apparently these are in most banks, these are the most paid staff because of the kind of money that they're able to bring into the bank. Now, you can use that same skill, that same experience that you've had trading with money, to be able to do that in the same way outside there. So you can think about forex, you can think about cryptocurrency, anywhere that there's trading of money. So these are some of the core areas of the banking that we could think about. Now, the next one is the supporting departments. Now, supporting departments are quite a number. Say, for example, we have HR, we have legal, we have IT, we have finance. There are quite a number of them. So probably you leave the bank, you can think of doing exactly the same thing. If you're in HR, you can open an HR agency where you get to do recruitment on behalf of clients and they pay you for that. If you're looking at legal, again, you can open your firm or you can join a partnership and be able to still carry on with your legal work, and that can be in conveyancing, it can be in any other experience that you've been able to garner while in the banking industry. Then the other one is the IT. IT is everywhere, it cuts across again. So again, you can be able to open yours. There's a lot of things that are happening in the market concerning technology, whether you go into software or hardware, whichever one you choose, your experience is needed out here in the market. Lastly is the finance department. So you can come out here and do accounting, where you help businesses or people to come up with their own accounts. You can even go into audit itself. There are many companies that are looking to be helped in terms of doing their audit services, other than being able to file their returns and all that. Now, we also have some specialized departments. Now, specialized departments come in, like, for example, we have, like, I know most banks will deal with agri business, there is health, manufacturing, and many others. So if you have been in the specialized industry while in the bank, what happens is that at that point you got to understand a lot that these other industries do. Like if it's in agribusiness, you understand what the challenges they go through, what they need to do, opportunities that are in that industry. The same with health, the same with manufacturing. And so you can be able to come in at this point as an advisor. That helps a lot because you can be able now to bring businesses to a place where they are able to understand even how they can deal with matters, money, and any other. Also, you can take any opportunity that you may have found that was making good money and it was not a very hard one to penetrate into, and work in that industry. Also, you can partner with all those who are already there. So you already know some people you've been working with, probably they were your customers. So you can actually partner with them and find out what areas can you come in and give in part of your experience and skills into their businesses. Now, last and not least, so overall there is consultancy in terms of financial literacy, advisory services. Many people and many businesses out here are looking for people who can help them to be able to run their own businesses. There are many people who are looking for such services, as what probably are things you take for granted just because we know it. So you can start that and be a consultant. Like I am a consultant in this space, mostly helping small and medium enterprises in terms of startups and scaling their businesses. I also do training and coaching. So the experience and the knowledge that you've gotten while you're in the banking industry can actually be a good stepping stone for you to get it out into the market and be able to offer so much for the people who are out here. I hope in the midst of all this uncertainty that you can actually find that it is not all lost. There is so much that you can do. It all requires you to be focused, to have a different mindset, and start preparing yourself for the business space. Now, there are 2 other videos that I prepared in advance on what you need to look into before you start a business. So you can also accustom yourself to that, both technical and non-technical aspects of opening a business. I will attach their links below so that you can be able to look into them, and you can also be able to see if you're really prepared and put in place before you start your business. I wish you all the very best, and in the comments let me know if there is any other area that as a banker you've worked in and you're not sure how you're going to use that skill that you gained out there, and then I can be able to help you. Thank you.